check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Okay, on to today's video. I've had this old Volkswagen Bus shell, and this was a RC car at one point in time. It had a suspension and it had running lights. It also did sound effects, if I'm not mistaken, but the chassis was all broke. The electronics were ruined, so I just decided to strip that down, keep the shell. I painted it to match my bug sitting over there. I got this small foam cooler, and the idea of this project is going to be taking this, setting it down over this cooler somehow, building a frame, and then using the trailer suspension components, so it'll just be this axle and bracket, and then the pivoting mechanism for the handle. And then I'm going to leave the top part of this wagon off to the side for another project, but we're going to use everything else, and we're going to mount the Volkswagen Bus on top of the frame, attach these wheels and handle, and we're going to have a cooler wagon so we can go around Bug Jam and all these other big shows and be able to pull a 12-pack of beer inside the bus. So let's get to it. Okay, so I opened the box up, took everything out except for the wagon frame itself. Those wheels came with it, but I already have wheels, so those are going to be set aside for some other project in the future. I got these other wheels and actually have like a light blue tint to them, so I'm going to run with them. Here's all the components to the frame, or the suspension, I guess you could call it. The front axle, the rear axle with the steering linkage. So I'm going to go ahead and put these wheels on these axles, and then from there I should have a better view of what type of frame I got to make for this. I'm probably just going to make it out of wood, and it's going to be tucked up under here and built just in a way that cooler can slide down in. So before I go to a show, drop my beers in there, drop the Volkswagen Bus over top of that, attach it somehow quickly, and then we'll be off towing some beer behind us at these big shows. Wheels are attached to the axles. Everything's kind of just on standby. The wheelbase is a little bit wider than what I had planned for this thing, so the wheels are actually going to probably stick out to about here, and that's going to be okay, I guess. I mean, it is what it is. This thing is just kind of a random project I came up with, so I'm not really expecting perfection on this first go around. If this gets a good response, then maybe I can weld my own frame and do all my own custom stuff. But for now, I'm just trying to get the easy way out by using existing wagon parts, and then figure out a way to make a wooden frame to connect those together, set this on top, drop the cooler in. Okay, so I got this old metal sign here. I don't know where I acquired this from, but it's like some kind of metal sign insert. Probably for like some display rack or something. But anyways, I got this thing sitting around, and it's gonna go good as a base for this. And this little foam cooler I got two options. I got that cooler or this smaller cooler that I've had for a while. It actually sits right inside of that as is, so I think I'm going to try to make this work here. And basically all I need to do is cut off 3 inches of this, and it'll fit up underneath of the frame, or the shell of the bus. So I'm going to cut 3 inches off of this. I'm going to mount it to the axles here, and then I got to figure out a way to get this cooler and the bus shell to sit over top of that to where I can remove it and reconnect it easy enough, like on the fly. Okay, here's a little progress shot. Got the axles mounted to this piece of metal. Basically what I did is I just measured the center of the wheel well to the center of the wheel well, which is 17 inches. And I made sure that I mounted the axles 17 inches on center, straight apart from one another. Make sure they're straight. And the next step was to drop this cooler in here, which fits in there perfect. However, when I lower the body down over top. It's quite a ways down in there. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is take this cooler out, set this bigger one here, and I'm gonna have to get some kind of framing, a little bit of a lip around the whole base of this thing so it doesn't slide. But this one fits quite a bit better. It actually fits right up to the edge here. Okay, so I'm pretty much done with this. I think I can make it a little bit better over time, but for right now, I think I'm gonna call this project finished. Let me show you what I did. So this piece of metal had this 90-degree bend here. Well, my cooler, I decided to go with the tall cooler because it fits more beer. Well, it was sitting on top of this edge, and it wasn't allowing the top of the actual Volkswagen body to come down low enough. So I just took a cutting wheel, cut some slits here, and then bent this up. Now this cooler will sit right in that spot, and it won't go left or right. It's kind of locked in place. Okay. Then on the back end, I just threw some zip ties for now until I can come up with a more permanent fixture. Some zip ties through the holes that were existing in this metal piece around the bumper of the Volkswagen. And then this lowers, theoretically, right down on the top of here. And this is the existing hatch that came with this Volkswagen bus, so I just put a hinge on it with some rivets. So now when I want to get to my beer, I just lift this up, and when I'm not using it, it lowers down like that, and we're pretty much complete. Alright boys, she's done. It's not perfect, and it still needs a little bit of tweaking to make everything dialed in. But it's working for what I wanted it to do, so I'm gonna call this done for now. Thanks for watching. If you got any other ideas, throw them my way. I love creating custom stuff out of virtually nothing. Alright, well, I'm gonna go drink some beer. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe. We'll see you later. Where the party's at.
Matt.
With my new toy.
Yeah, with your new toy. Like your creation is actually held up for a short little walk.